Welcome to all of you in this class of Operation Research, where today we will be discussing very important topic, linear programming, its phases, and then we'll be focusing on the graphic method of linear programming. So first, the lecture on linear programming will be focused on introduction to the linear programming, then what are the various steps which we follow for solving the problems under linear programming, and then we will be focusing on graphic method of linear programming. This will be the subject matter of today's lecture. So as far as operation research is concerned, we have already discussed that operation research is a collection of various techniques which helps to solve the different problems of the business, industry, and other spheres of the life. And most important problem of the business is the allocation of the resources. As we have already discussed in the last lecture also, that in business we have the limited resources, and these resources has the multiple uses. For example, we take the example of the milk. If you are running a sweet shop and you have the limited quantity of milk which you can purchase, for milk you have alternative uses. You can use it for curd, you can use it for sweets, you can use it for paneer, etc., or other items. And every item which are known as the decision variables, for example, you can take curd as X, you can take barfi as a Y, and similarly you can take other sweets like rabdi as Z. So these are the three decision variables regarding which you have to take a decision that how much quantity of the milk you can use for X, Y, and Z, so that your profits are maximized. So under the limited resources, which has alternative uses, you have to maximize the potential of using the milk for your business so that you can improve or enhance your profits. So now this kind of problem is basically related with the allocation of resource, which is a milk. And where to allocate? You have to allocate this resource for various kinds of decision variables, which may be X, Y, and Z. So number of techniques are available, and linear programming is one of the technique with which you can easily solve the problem of allocation of resources and maximize your profits or minimize your cost. So as far as linear programming is concerned, linear programming word is composed of two things, two words. One is linear and second one is programming. Here the term linear which we will use, the term linear is used to define the relationship between the various variables, that is known as decision variables. For example, we have said that you have alternative uses of the milk, which you can use it for X, you can use it for Y, you can use it for Z. So when you have to define the relationship between X, Y, and Z, the term linear is used there. The relationship between the variables are linear to each other when they are proportional to each other. So that means if you have to reduce the quantity of 10% of X, then ultimately it will also improve the quantity of Y and Z proportionately 10%. Similarly, if you have to define the relationship between X and Y, the relationship between two variables X and Y will be said to be proportional to each other. Then it will be said that the relationship between two variables is linear to each other. It means in linear programming, the word programming is used for managing the relationship between the two variables. Managing the variables which are linear to each other is basically a linear programming. So with the help of linear programming, we will manage the relationship between the variables which are linear to each other. We will plan them in such a way that we are focused on achieving our objective. That objective may be enhancing your profit, that is maximize your profit, or minimizing your cost. And you have to work under certain limitations. Such limitations are known as constraints. For example, you may have a limited quantity of the milk available, that is one constraint. You can produce only limited quantity of one particular X or Y or Z, that is another constraint. Or the combination of these two may be having limited availability of the labor, that may be another constraint. So you have to enhance your objective while working under a limited number of constraints, and there are certain conditions also imposed on you, that either you will produce these products, that means that the decisions variable either will be produced or will not be produced, that is known as non-negativity conditions. So as far as linear programming is concerned, it is the management. Programming here means management of variables which are proportional to each other, linear to each other, while from forming a structure of this methodology and arriving at optimal solution, that is called linear programming. So linear programming is one of the optimization technique of operation research, with the help of which you first arrive at initial feasible solution. Initial feasible solution means while working under the constraints and conditions, you draw out a initial feasible solution. Then we have a methodology of testing the optimality of initial feasible solution, and then if it is optimal, then we got the solution. If it is not optimal, then you continue to improve the solution by iterative process. Iterative process here means step by step procedure. If initial feasible solution is tested, its optimality, it is not optimal, then you will improve by following certain steps. So then you will continue to adopt these steps unless and until you arrive at a optimal solution. So linear programming is an optimization technique. It is an iterative process. It is the management of the variables which are proportional to each other, so that we can achieve our objective while working under certain restrictions and while working under certain conditions. So that is the concept of linear programming. So let's move to the presentation which I have prepared for all of you, so that you can have a detailed glimpse of the various concepts of linear programming. And particularly, we will be focusing on one method only today. The another method will be discussed in the next lecture. Today, we will be focusing on linear programming graphic method, along with the certain kind of methodologies which are followed for getting the solution under linear programming. So linear programming, first of all, we have to define it. As I have already said so many things about it. So basically, linear programming is a process of optimizing the solutions, optimizing the problem which are subject to under certain constraints. As I have already told you, that while working under limited resources, you have to achieve your objectives. You have different alternative, but you have certain constraints also. That constraint may be related to time, that constraint may be related to your labor, that constraint may be related to with your material, that constraint may be related to with your number of units which you can maximally sell in the market. So linear programming is a process of optimizing the problem which are subject under certain conditions. It means that it is the process of minimizing or maximizing the linear functions under linear inequality constraints. So first we will define the objective function, that will also be in the form of a linear equation. Then we will put under constraints, that will also be defined under certain equations which are linear to each other. And then we have to work under certain conditions which are known as non-negativity conditions under the linear programming structure. So linear programming basically is a process. When I say it is a process, it means it's an iterative process, It is a step-by-step procedure which we follow for getting the optimal solution of the problem which we have encountered with while preparing our solution for the linear programming. So what is LPP? First, it is an optimization technique. It's an iterative process. We follow step by step procedure. Here, the basic objective is to find optimal value of the objective function. For example, if you have one material which can be alternatively used for three variables, x1, x2, and x3. These three variables are known as decision variables. And for decision variables, you have certain profit or cost coefficients. If you have profit coefficient, then you have your objective is to maximize the profits from these three decision variables. And total of these three variables profit will be the total profit of organization. So for example, if you are getting 5 rupees profit from the x1, 4 rupees profit from the x2, and 3 rupees profit from the x3, our total profit will be 5x1 plus 4x2 plus 3x3. So this will become a linear equation, and this objective is defined as a linear equation. So our objective of linear programming may be to find optimal value of the objective function. So the solution which will be optimal in linear programming, which we will be getting from the iterative process or optimization technique of the linear programming, that will be best solution. If you find any other alternative solution, that will either be equal to them or will be lesser than them. So the basic objective of linear programming is to find the optimal value of the objective function. That objective function may be to maximize something or to minimize something. Second, I have already defined linear means all mathematical functions are to be linear. That means proportional to each other. So there is not non-linear programming. There is not quadration. No quadratic equations are found. Only linear functions are there in your the structure of linear programming. Maybe objectives, maybe the constraints. Then the term programming refers to planning, not computer programming. The programming here should not be confused with the computer programming because it's a step-by-step procedure. Though now with the help of technology, we have the software solutions for the linear programming also. Because earlier there was a deficiency that we thought when you have to get the solution from the linear programming, you must have the limited number of the decision variable 5, 6, or 7. As the number of variables in any linear programming problem is increased, it is going to be very cumbersome and difficult because manually it will be very difficult to solve it. But now you have the availability of the computer softwares for linear programming, even for all techniques of the linear programming, and you can easily get the solutions. But here, when we define programming, it is not computer programming. Basically, as I have already told you, that programming here means management of the decision variables which are linear to each other in such a way that you can achieve your objective, and that objective may be to minimize something or to maximize something. That will depend upon the circumstances of the each case. So this is something about the linear programming. Now, what are the components of the linear programming? That means in operation research techniques, we have already discussed that we have to follow certain steps. That means, first of all, you have to define the problem. And if you are using a particular technique, every technique has a model to define the problem and structure the problem. So in similar way, the linear programming has one structure of its model, and that structure can be defined into three segments. Number one, first segment is objective function. That objective function must be in a linear equation format. For example, our objective may be to maximize profit or to minimize cost. So if you have to maximize your profit will be maximize Z. Now, what will be the equal to Z? Z will be equal to the total profit from all the products. For example, if you are producing three products, X1, X2, and X3, and you are getting C1 profit from the X1, C2 profit from the X2, and C3 profit from the X3, our total profit will be C1X1 plus C2X2 plus C3X3. So our maximization problem will be maximize, that is equal to C1X1 plus C2X2 plus C3X3. So now here we have defined the objective function in a linear equation. So there is no 5x square or 5x cube. So it means the format is in the linear equation and all the decision variables are in the proportional to each other and linear to each other. Secondly, similar way, we have to define our constraints. We have to work under certain constraints because you may have limited availability of raw material to produce X1, X2, X3. For example, you have only 50 units of the raw material available, and 1 unit of X material is consumed for X1, 2 units are consumed in X2, and 3 units are consumed in the X3. Our constraint will be X1 plus 2x2 plus 3x3, that should be less than equal to 50. That means our material units cannot exceed 50. Similarly, there may be other constraints also. So we will be forming the various constraints in the linear equations. Thirdly, there will be one assumption also, which is known as a condition also, that either these X1, X2, and X3 will be produced or either will not be produced. There will be no negativity. So either X1, X2, X3 will be produced. If they are produced, then X1, X2, X3 will be greater than 0. If they are not produced, then they will be equal to 0. So non-negativity condition will be prescribed that X1, X2, and X3 are greater than equal to 0. So there are three components of linear programming structure of the problem. One is objective function, second is the linear constraints, and third is non-negativity condition. Now let's see the structure of the linear programming in a problem format which is available in the structure of the linear programming. So linear programming problem is mathematically formulated as follows. A linear programming may be to maximize it or minimize it. Now here you can see, here we have written that maximize C1 X1 plus C2 X2. So it means this organization is producing two products only, X1 and X2, and by producing the X1, the firm is getting C1 profit, 1 unit of X1 if it is produced, then that is giving you C1 profits, and 1 unit of X2 is produced, that is giving us C2 profit. So here you can write it that the total profit is equal to maximize, that is equal to C1 X1 plus C2 X2. So similarly, now there may be certain constraints. For example, you are using three kind of material for producing X1 and X2, and these are known as B1, B2, and 3. So three constraints will be formulated. For example, A1 is A11 is used for producing X1, A12 is used for producing X2, and total amount available with the B is available in the quantity B1. So our first constraint will be A11 X1 plus A1 X2, A12 X2 less than equal to B1. So here A11, A12, A21, A22, these are known as structural coefficients. So here in objective function, whatever we have written C1 and C2, these are the cost or profit coefficients. X1 and X2 are known as decision variables. A11, A12, A21, A22, A31, A32, these are the structural coefficients which define the uses of various resources which needs to be allocated per unit of producing X1 and X2. So here in this format of linear programming, you have objective function, and in objective function you have cost and profit coefficient, that is C1, C2 are known as cost and profit coefficient. Secondly, you have X1 and X2. X1 and X2 are decision variables for which you have to take decision which has to be managed, and they are linear to each other. And now you have three constraints. In constraints A11, A12, these are the coefficients which are known as structural coefficients, which prescribe the quantity of the material or resource which is to be used for producing the decision variables. And B1, B2, B3 are the resource availability, maximum amount of resources which are available, or the minimum amount of resources which are available. But apart from that, we have defined that the decisions variables value will be greater than or equal to 0. That means x1 and x2 value should be equal than greater than or equal to 0. So this is the structure of the linear programming. So if the problem is given to you, then you have to define that problem. In this structure, you have to define the objective function, you have to define the constraints, then you have to define the non-negativity conditions and the data which is required for structuring the problem in the linear programming format. We need the data about the how much amount of cost or profit coefficients are there for producing x1 and x2. That means we need to know cost and profit coefficient per unit of producing the product. Then you need to know the structural coefficient, data about the structural coefficient, that you need to know how much quantity of A11, A12 is required for producing X1 and X2. Similarly, A21, A22, A31, A32 is required for producing X1 and X2. And the thirdly, we have the assumption. So this data is required for formulating the problem under linear programming problem. The first step will be to convert the problem into the prescribed structure of linear programming, and that structure contains three things. One is objective function, second is constraints, and third is non-negativity condition. So what are the various characteristics or features of the linear programming? First, that means you must have the constraints. If there is no constraint, then no need to use the linear programming. If there is no constraint, it means that you have abundance resources. There is no limitation of it. You can produce anything. So the limitation is there, and that limitation should be expressed in the mathematical form regarding the resource. Now here the limitations will be converted as constraints or linear equation, as we have already discussed earlier. Secondly, objective function. In every problem, the objective function should be specified in a quantitative manner, as we have already discussed in the last slide. Here, maximize Z is equal to C1x1 plus C2x2. That means we are getting the total profit. We have to maximize the total profit, and total profit is used by additive concept. Additive concept means total profit is arrived at by adding the profits from all kind of decision variables. So objective function need to be defined in the linear format. Secondly, the linearity, we have already defined that relationship between two or more variables in the function must be linear, and it means that the degree of the variable is 1. When they will be proportional to each other, the degree of variable will be 1. And next, finiteness. There should be finite and infinite input and output numbers. In case if the function has infinite factors, the optimal solution is not possible. So finiteness of the objective decision variables must be there. Then non-negativity condition. The variable should be either positive or 0. It should not be negative value. And the decision variables should be clearly defined, and it gives the ultimate solution to the problem. For any problem, the first step is to identify the decision variable regarding which you have to take a decision, regarding which you have to define the concept of linearity. So if you are not clear about the decision variable, then you cannot formulate the objective function, you cannot formulate the constraints and non-negativity conditions. Now we will be discussing the graphic method of linear programming. First thing which is to be discussed while using. There are a number of methods of getting the solution under linear programming, which is formulated in objective function constraints and non-negativity conditions. There are a number of methods. The first method is graphic method, but the problem of this method is that we can use the linear programming graphic method only when the only two variables problems of LPP is there. That means the decision variables are limited to two. If it is more than two, we cannot plot it in the graph. So therefore, we cannot get the feasible region. We cannot get the optimal solution by using this method. For that purpose, you have to go for simplex method, and there are a number of variants of the simplex method also. One is general simplex method. Second is a two-phase simplex method. Third is the big M method, and the fourth, if there is a problem of duality, then you can use it with that methodology. And similarly, we have the dual simplex method also. But today's focus will be on graphic method. So it is one of the linear programming method, but it has limitation that it can be used only when we have the two variables problem. As you can see in the picture in the graph, there are two axes on the graph, x-axis and y-axis, and equations are plotted on graph, and common region is find out, because in constraints we have already seen that some constraint may be greater than equal to type, some constraint may be less than equal to type. If the constraints are less than equal to type, then the portion below the line of that equation will be feasible. If it is greater than equal to type, the portion above the line will be the feasible region. So therefore, in graphic method, we will plot the various equations on the graph, because it will cover our various limitation points, and keeping into view the limitation point, we will arrive at the feasible region, which is a common region. And if in common region various points will be there which will be giving us the solution, and by getting from those points we will be arriving at a solution which is the best solution, which will be either is maximizing its value or minimizing its value, and on the basis of that we will be getting your optimal solution. So basically, graphic method is limited of use when you have two variables problems only, and in this we plot these figures on graphs, various equations on the graph, and try to get the feasible solution. Let's see what are the various steps for graphical method. You can use you can note down all these also. So first step will be, first step we have already covered, that is formulate the problem in a standard format. As linear programming has a standard format, that means defining objective function in the linear equation format, defining the various constraints in the linear equation format, and thirdly we have the non-negativity condition. So firstly, we will formulate the problem in a standard format, which is a given in the structure of the linear programming, that is objectives and constraint. And the second step will be frame the graph. Now we have the objective function, you have the constraints. Constraints may be less than equal to type, constraint may be greater than equal to type, constraint may be equal to type. So presuming that these are equal, you will find out the variables of these constraints, decision variables of these constraints. That means putting one variable as 0 and finding the value of the other in each constraint. For example, two variables are there, x1 and x2, and similarly putting x1 as 0, you will find the value of x2, putting x2 as 0, you will find the value of the x1, and plot these variables. So first of all, we will get the value of each variables by alternatively putting all these values as 0 and then finding out the plotting these on the third step will be plot these constraints on the graph, that because there are two axes on the graph paper, x1 and x2, or x-axis or y-axis. So inequality should be treated as equality, and giving arbitrary value to the variable as 0, you will find out the value of the other variables. So fourth step will be these values will be plotted on the graph, and then on the plotted area of the graph, then you will see whether the constraints are greater than equal to type or less than equal to type. On the basis of that, you will see the area, find out the common region which satisfy all the constraints, and then find out the potential circle points from each of the area or feasible region area. The different points may be there, they may be numbered as A, B, C, D, E, and on each point the values of x1 and x2 is there, and that value is put in the objective function, and the value which satisfy our optimality test, that is gives us maximum value, that will be treated as the solution values for getting the solution, optimal solution from the various alternatives which are plotted on the graph. So these are the basic steps. First formulate the problem, then frame the graph, then plot the constraint, then plot the graph, then outline the solution area, that means finding out the feasible region, then circle points of solution are identified, and then we will put these values in the objective function and find out the best value as desired, that may be cost minimization or profit maximization. Now let us take an example. There are a number of examples here. We can use this methodology. So it can small scale regulatory industry may be used, accomplished by skilled men and workers. So there are a number of areas here. We don't need to discuss this. Let's come to the methodology only. So first step our will be formulate the problem in the linear equation format. First objective function is formulated in the linear format. For example, let's take males and males to be x and number of females to be y. There are two variables, decision variable regarding which you have to identify or take decision. That is decision variable x, they are males; decision variable y, they are females. And you have to maximize the contribution of males and females. And how you will be maximize? Contribution of male members plus contribution of female members. So this is a concept of additivity. That means total profit is find out by adding the profits of all the variables. So here, if you are getting 10,000 profit from the male per unit and 8,500 profit from the female per unit, your objective will be maximize z is equal to 10,000 x1 plus 8,500 y. So now you have to work under certain constraints. There may be certain constraints like this. For example, x plus y is less than equal to 11. One constraint is there. 6,000x plus 5,000 y less than equal to 60,000. That is another constraint. So these are the constraints. One resource may be x and y, which is used. Maximum value is 11 only available, and another is 60,000. Maximum value of that resource is 60,000 only. So 6,000 quantity is used in x, 5,000 used in y. So but it should not exceed 60,000. So these are the two constraints which are given to you. So objective function is defined in linear equation, and then you have constraints defined in linear equations. Now this is the frame of the graph. Two axes are there. On one axis you will take number of males, on another you can take the number of females. So two axes here are plotted on the graph. Now these are the equations which has to be plotted. First equation was the constraint equation was x plus y is equal to 11. If you put x is equal to 0, y's value will be 11. Okay, if you put y's value is equal to 0, x value will be 11. So this is the first constraint. Here you get the x's value as y and x's value as 11, and y's value also 11. So now there are another equation, 6,000x plus 5,000y less than equal to 60. So you may convert it into 6x plus 5y is equal to 60. So here, if you put x value is equal to 0, then y value will be 60 divided by 5, that is 12. If you put y's value will be equal to 0, then it will be 60 divided by 6, that will be 10. So here you get the values. In first equation, you get x is equal to 11, y is equal to 11. In another equation, you get the x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 12. So now third step will be to plot these on graph paper. So firstly, I have plotted these separately, where x is equal to 11, y is equal to 11. This one line is drawn. Another is drawn in another graph. Here x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 12. It has been defined, but you will plot on the one figure only. So here both figures are defined, plotted on the one graph only. So here now, because both these equations were having less than equal to sign, you can see it. Both these constraint has less than equal to type. So if you plot them and you have to find out the feasible region, that is the common region. So it means the points lying below these lines which are plotted on the graph will be treated as feasible region. So now you have to find out the common region for that. So the shaded portion which I have shown here is known as a common region. So this is the feasible region also. So here you can point out the various points. For example, what are the various common points? Now I have got these points, whatever is the shaded portion, red shaded portion is there, that red shaded portion is identified in this graph. This is just for your convenience, but you don't have to draw it. You have to show it on the same. Now here the various points are there. This point is there, this circle point is there, this circle point is there, this circle point is there. You can see it here also. Here, this is one point, this is second point, this is third point, which is blue circle, and this is fourth point. So we will find out the all these 4 points, and then on all these 4 points values of x and y will be identified as I have done it this. So in first at this point the value is 0 and 0. In a second here the value of one variable, yeah, that is x is 0 and another is here 11. And in third, at this point you can draw a perpendicular here and find out the values of the x and y, and in this 5 and 6 is there, and in last here the one value is 10 and another is 0. So these are our 4 points which we have identified. Now we will be putting these points in a tabular format in the objective function. If you put these 0 values in first objective function, the maximum value will be 0. If you put 0 and 11, then 93,500. In third, 5 and 6, if you put these values, then 1,01,000 will be there. And if fourth point is there, 10 and 0, if you put it there, 1 lakh is there. So now we have to get the maximum value of these at, that is 1,01,000. So our solution will lie at x is equal to 5, y is equal to 6. So in this way, in graphic method, while following the various situations, number of male workers to be 5 and number of female workers will be 6, and maximum value will be 1,01,000. So this is a very simplest way of getting the solution. So you can I'm just giving you one example to all of you. These are the two practice questions you can note down. Note down these two practice questions. I will pause for 1 minute and try to solve these questions, because you have already done it at the graduation level. That's why I am just recapitulating all the points which you have studied at the graduation level. So these are the practice questions. Please note it down. I'm just pausing for 1 minute so that you can note down, and after that we will proceed. Everybody has noted down? On your sound and video. Okay, on your sound and video, let's have some questions. अपनी वीडियो ऑन करो सारे. Any question from your side? I suppose the students whose video is off, they are not present in the class. Yes, Priyanka, any question?
सर नॉन नेगेटिविटी के बारे में आपने क्या बताया था?
Non-negativity regarding decision variables. कि either you will produce that decision variable, that is, suppose you have to produce two products, X and Y. Non-negativity means either you will produce them or will not produce them. There is no negative product which are produced. For example, if you take diet, if a particular diet, to maximize your nutrition value, so ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ presume ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ either it will improve your nutrient value or will not improve your nutrient value, but there will be no negative effect. This is presumed कि आइदर ਅਸੀਂ ਉਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਜਾਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਵੈਲਿਊ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਜਾਂ ਜ਼ੀਰੋ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਨੈਗੇਟਿਵ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ -5 ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਿਊਸ ਕਰਦੇ, नो। For example, if you consume some vitamins, vitamin X and vitamin Y, to enhance your productivity of physique, ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰਜ਼ਿਊਮ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ X ਤੇ Y ਵਿਟਾਮਿਨ ਕੰਜ਼ੂਮ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਡਕਟਿਵਿਟੀ ਹੈ ਜਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਪਰੂਵ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਜਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਏਗੀ, यानी वॉमिट करके नेगेटिविटी नहीं होएगी। दैट इज प्रिज्यूम्ड अंडर द लीनियर प्रोग्रामिंग। यू फॉलो इट और नॉट?
यस सर।
एनीबॉडी एल्स? चलो ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच। नेक्स्ट टॉपिक जेड़ा उसी सिंपलेक्स मेथड स्टार्ट करेंगे। ऐश्वर्या वांट टू से समथिंग?
No, sir, no.
Okay.
Everything is clear.
Okay. Thank you.